I'm not as qualified as Mataji said. So by devotee's mercy, somehow connected to Krishna and Prabhupada. So I thank Mataji for giving this, engaging me in this service. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshara-militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano-Bhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kalamayam Dadanti Swabhadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta-Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavats Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana-Raghunathanitam Puram Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana-Lalita Shri Vishakanitamsha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamni Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Guruttu Seram Krishna Karuna Sindho Dino Bandho Chakapare Priteshi Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Bhakta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Ishwari Krishavana Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Mataji, I am audible, na?
Very clear, Prabhuji.
Okay. So Hare Krishna. So I am sure there are so many senior elderly devotees. So, but as a service, I am going to speak. So please correct me if anything is inappropriate. And
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So before starting, so as today Mataji asked me to speak on Japa, I am recently I was hearing one lecture. So that the devotee was describing once a reporter came to do a survey of what activities like the devotees do in this corner. So he spoke to different people, he observed different things. So, and he came to conclusion that so these people, they don't do much anything, they just do chanting of Hare Krishna. So he published an article in the newspaper saying that ISKCON is not much, they just chant Hare Krishna. They just do sit and chant Hare Krishna, or they may sing Hare Krishna mantra, not much. So this is the right understanding. So I think Tamal Krishna Maharaj, somebody was sharing with Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said that yeah, I think he came to the right conclusion. So ultimately, all we may do so many activities. Preaching, teaching, and so many things. So ultimately, what is expected is that we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So there are two things when we come to Japa. One is about the glories of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, knowing about the its glories, and second is practices. How do we practice in our lives? So I'll just recite this shloka. This is one of the special shlokas which is given by Rupa Goswami about the power of you can say the power of the word Krishna. In like we can say Hare Krishna mantra. Tunde Tandavini Ratim Vitanute Tundavali Labjaye Karna Krodha Kadam Vini Ghatayate Karna Abhyude Spraham Cheta Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritam Najane Janita Yadviram Bhutay Krishneti Varnadvaye. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, It appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind. And therefore, all the senses become inert. So this is there are so many glorifications of chanting the holy names. Srila Prabhupada has kindly given us this most important, practice in our practice of Krishna consciousness. So the Rupa Goswami is explaining what is the state when we chant pure names. So apart from this, I will be reading from this book of broken names, a part by Sachinandana Maharaj, how we should chant. Mataji, I hope this is fine. Then we can discuss some things.
Yes, yes. Please, please.
So I think this is Maharaj is sharing his own story through a novel. This is the broken names. So I will just read how Maharaj is trying to say how we can chant pure names. To hear the mantra properly, you must first become silent to the outside and inside world. Only when the outer and inner chatters stops does the mantra speak to you. Of all things, to become silent is the hardest. By silence, I don't just mean a temporary cessation of speech, nor even a pause between thoughts. No. Inner silence, in its true sense, is an attitude of attentive alertness, a type of quiet eagerness for the Lord, and above all, inner silence means listening. I have attended one training program recently, and as a part of teaching, many times we hear some things. So I think this is one of the most even important quality is to listen. And I was just thinking that time how Prabhupada has given this one powerful listening method, what we should do while chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So Prabhupada said you should just listen. You should just listen to the mantra you are chanting. So, but this is a very, very challenging, at least for me, because there are so many thoughts which are cluttering our mind. So they will be coming the whole day. So in particular, when I sit for chanting. So Maharaj gives so many solutions. Let us see. Yes, inner silence is required if we wish to hear God. Let him increase his voice within the heart. Let the other voices decrease. So there is a voice where Krishna is speaking to us, and there is something which we are speaking. So the chanting is something when Krishna speaks to us, when we stop all other things and when we hear to the mantra properly. So in that way, Krishna communicates to us. I feel that to chant the holy name is to pass from a state where mercy is only secretly present in our heart to the state of an inner awareness of the presence and the voice of the Lord, not as a passive theory, but as an active divine revelation. But how are we to start? When the door to the world closes behind us, how do we move forward to enter his living world? How do we move from merely repeating words to truly entering a flow of divine communication? My answer starts here. First, establish a connection. So in any Krishna consciousness means, if somebody wants to say in simple words, it is the first thing is relationship with Krishna. And through that relationship, we get so many other relationships through devotees and other people. But the root relationship, like the main, is a relationship with Krishna. So this is what first establish a connection. Chanting requires building up, as in any relationship. Of course, relationships of love are not built from step-by-step rules, but there are always a few set principles. So the best relationship we can find in this world is the mother and child relationship. How mother tries very hard, to care for the child. So there is no, set guidelines or things. Mother knows how to love, what to care, when to feed, what difficulty the child is facing. So similarly, that is the most, I think, pure relationship in this world, and which we can take example. And so similarly, if you want to establish this relationship with Krishna, so we have to try from our side. The first principle is to take on a cooperative mood and express that mood by making serious efforts to chant with faith. This will attract the beautiful name to hear your chanting. The next principle is the effort to at least be attentive. So the second principle is try to be attentive. At the very least, try to chant without external interruptions. Attach your mind to the divine names, one by one, as they move over your tongue. To be attentive, you must be present in the here and now, relentlessly. Practice it. Like we have attended couple of, like I myself attended couple of times Japa retreat, holy name retreat, which is conducted in the Govardhan by VHE. So Burijan Prabhu, whenever I hear his class, so he mentions this one point, that like to purify us, to become perfection, just we need to chant one holy name purely. If we chant one name with pureness, that is sufficient. So Prabhuji just gives this one example. It tells that whatever name you are chanting, that you hear properly. Like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If I'm chanting this holy name, so when I'm chanting Hare, I should hear Krishna, then I should hear Krishna. I should not worry whether I heard Hare properly or not. So like this, Prabhuji, with more elaboration, he explains how the present name, what I'm chanting, I should try to be attentive. This one principle, I really liked it. Which is very powerful, helps to listen. Bind your mind to the naked now. This is Prabhuji tells, Maharaj tells here, naked now. Weld it to the name, which is right now. Seize the present name. To be attentive and present, you must be patient. Endure your inner dryness that always pushes your thoughts into seeking relief in the oasis of past or future possibilities. There is no past or future. They are only fragments of the mind. So there is only present. There is no past, there is no future. So continues. So Krishna will be watching all this from a hidden place. He is especially interested to see where you will run for relief in those dull moments of dryness. Convince him that you know that only he can truly relieve you. And then he will come out of hiding. He will respond to you in the heart when the time is right. Meanwhile, be happy to stay in the presence. So Krishna will be testing. So I was hearing one example which is mentioned in the Vedic scriptures. If you take grass, durva grass, I'm sorry, this we use in the sacrifices. This durva grass, I'm sure sometimes na pujari, he takes this durva grass and to purify water or something, he touches inside, and sometimes he sprinkles with the durva grass certain articles of worship. So like this example is that if you take this durva grass and you go to a seashore and you pick water with durva grass and you put it the other side. Like that, one should have patience, that endurance, that with this process, one day I will be able to dry this ocean. So that much patience one is required while chanting to achieve that. One day I will achieve Krishna for sure if I go on chanting. Because like if you take with durva grass, a few drops of water they come just. But still, one should have conviction that one day I'm going to dry this ocean. So after practicing some time, it will be sometimes we feel restless or hopeless that whether this will work or not, but it will surely work. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. So let me continue this reading. No matter how much you try to quiet your mind, thoughts are bound to disturb the peace eventually. It is similar to the blue cloudless sky. Eventually, clouds are sure to form and roam across its vastness. There is no need to battle the mind in the hopeless efforts to annihilate distracting thoughts. Let the impersonalist yogis try to fight the mind. They will find out that it will not work. It's a very nice point. Maharaj is saying that we know Krishna is a person, so he is going to surely, respond. Our strategy is positive. Instead of trying to empty the mind of what is bad, let us fill it with what is good. What is good? The holy names. If you find the mind, it will only get more strength from your attention. Attentive chanting is simply to lay aside our thoughts. It is not a savage fight of furious repression. It is a soft, beautiful, persistent act of engaging the thoughts within the holy name. Look up, turn to the Lord, ask for help with the expression of a joyful child turning to its mother. So this is where it becomes the prayerful. So then you will see the spiritual world unfold, not by your own power, but the power of the holy name. Above all, stay conscious of the people you are addressing, the ones named by the names. Then you can chant with a devotional mood and an inner attitude of worship, making the effort to please the divine couple by calling on their names. Thus, as you chant, the name itself will invoke awareness of Krishna's beautiful form, loving pastimes, and heart-stealing qualities. Do not struggle to force such images into your mind while chanting. Let them descend naturally in due course from the transcendental realm of the name's internal potency. When I chant, I have faith that the eye of God is on me, and it is enough to rest in the awareness of His presence. Practice this simple approach, and the broken pieces of your scattered faith will begin to come together. The holy name concentrates us into the here and now. It gives us a singular center, rescuing us with the simplicity of love from the complicated multitude of selfish thoughts. Look at chanting not so much as repetition of a mantra emptied of thought, but as a prayer filled with the beloved. It is a prayer of affection rather than self-induced emotional excitement. So we can summarize this entire thing here in the three principles. First is relationship. Second point is to be attentive listener. The third point is having a prayerful mood. So Maharaj has expressed very nicely. So we can try to, while chanting, we can practice this. This is in this way, so that we can get the mercy of Krishna for sure one day. So I'll end with this small story, how presently in this age, this chanting of holy names is very important. So this is a nice story you might have heard. I think it's there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There was a devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu whose name was Subudhi Rai. So he's a very wealthy merchant. He had one servant. So one day the servant was not doing his duties properly, so he chastised him. So he has whipped him with a whipping rope. He has beaten him. So there were some scratches. After some time, then this person has understood. He corrected his mistake. Then he was serving for a long time with him. So Subudhi Roy was like kind of a fatherly figure to this young man. So after some time, this person got married. One day, his wife noticed these scratches on his body. So she told that why these scratches are there. He said that he explained the entire incident. So later, Subudhi Rai, so the wife demanded that now you are in a good position. So the Subudhi Rai got retired, and he was now not having much powers. So now you are in a good position. You should punish this person. So you should kill this person. Punishment. So, but this young man had a lot of affection for him, but that is at the same time he is not able to reject the wife's demands. So to pacify her, what he did is he took few drops of water from a Muslim's house. He dropped on the head of Subudhi Rai, treating him as he is now outcast from the Hindu society. So then Subudhi Rai, like he is going to different people and asking how I can be purified. So different people are giving different suggestions. So then one person told you drink hot ghee, so that by drinking hot ghee you will be purified. Then Subudhi Rai says that if I drink hot ghee, I will die. said, no, that's what? That is a purification. You die and you will take birth in a Brahmana family. In that way, you are purified. So in that way, he reached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that no other process is required. You just chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, chanting of the holy name. That is that purifies you. So then the Subudhi Rai, he chanted. So why I'm giving this example is that all of us are in that present day situation is, like 500 years back, the society and present society, we don't have that culture, So I was just thinking, so this is what is the most important thing, chanting of the holy names. So Srila Prabhupada went to so many places and how he purified everybody just by chanting of the holy names. So this is one process we all should take seriously. And the Subudhi Rai later, he came to Vrindavan, he served Vaishnavas, he engaged in the devotional service. So I was just hearing, so I just thought to share this thing. So I'll stop here. If any comments or questions, corrections by the devotees.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. You very nicely brought out very practical teachings from Maharaj's instructions for all of us. And I think what struck me the most was your story, though it sounded apparently very simple, but I think you brought out the import of how Srila Prabhupada didn't care for all the accusations that he received on purity, impurity. He went everywhere across the globe and gave Hare Krishna Mahamantra because he knows the value of this Mahamantra. So thank you very much to bring out this.
Thank you, Mrs. Okay, thank you.
He has any questions? I'm looking forward to some questions or something like that. If anybody has any question or a comment. Vilas Prabhuji, you had to say something.
No, Mataji.
You have unmuted, so I was thinking that you had.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have one doubt. When you were sick, currently I'm having throat infection. So that time, how can we chant loudly? It is very hard to chant. So is there any way, or we have to chant like that?
See, it is not mentioned that we have to chant loudly. So if you are having some, health problem, I'm sure Krishna will see our mood. So you can chant whatever possible way you can hear the mantra which you are chanting. Even if not, the idea is that see, it is the chanting is a process between each one of us and Krishna. So anything else which you would like? So yeah, I'm sure. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Okay, Mataji, we can stop here.
I'm just waiting if anybody else also has a question or a comment.
Yes.
There are some comments thanking you in the chat box.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
His Grace Lila Govinda Prabhuji ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samveta Gauranga Prabhuji ki
Jai.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you, Mataji.